When the border gates slam shut, who actually cashes the check? For generations, the script hasn't changed. Politicians stand in front of a wall of microphones, promise to protect domestic factories, and declare that the other country is going to pay. We are told it's a simple equation of leverage, our tariffs against their economy, a battle of wills where the biggest market wins. Look at the data. In the late 2010s, we saw the largest tariff escalation since the Great Depression. Hundreds of billions of dollars in goods were suddenly taxed at the border. The goal was explicit: bring manufacturing back home, crush the trade deficit, and force the competitor to blink. Except, it didn't happen that way. The standard expectation was a clean economic victory or a calculated stalemate. Instead, domestic importers took the direct financial hit. Manufacturing jobs didn't experience a historic renaissance, and the trade deficit reached new heights. But the strangest breakdown did not happen inside the borders of the two sparring superpowers. It happened in the quiet shipping lanes of the Pacific and along the dusty border towns of the American South. It involves a highly specific multi-billion-dollar mechanism called trade diversion, a systemic loophole where goods do not actually change their true origin, but merely change their passports. To see who actually walks away wealthy, we have to look past the political rhetoric and follow the physical path of a single shipping container. The sequence always begins with absolute certainty. When a superpower slaps a 25% tax on an adversary's steel, electronics, or industrial machinery, the underlying math seems flawless. The tax should make foreign goods too expensive, forcing domestic buyers to purchase from local suppliers. But supply chains are not political boundaries. They are living, deeply entrenched networks. When researchers at the National Bureau of Economic Research began tracking the real-world flow of goods following the 2018 tariff hikes, when a superpower slaps tariffs on an adversary, the math seems clean. The enemy pays, domestic factories win. Except the data reveals a completely different reality. Foreign exporters don't lower their prices. Domestic companies pay the tax. Costs rise. Profits drop. The first casualty of the economic war is the very consumer it was meant to protect. Then the supply lines break. When U.S. imports from China plummeted by $35 billion, global demand didn't shrink. It just moved. Capital migrated to bypass states like Vietnam and Mexico. It's called trade diversion. A Chinese factory ships a circuit board to Vietnam or Mexico for basic assembly or a new label. It crosses the border duty-free. The trade war didn't stop the goods. It just added a longer boat ride and a higher price tag. Look at the structural failure. In 2023, Mexico became America's top exporter. A policy win? No. Chinese exports into Mexico simultaneously hit record highs. The deficit wasn't fixed. It was laundered. Worse, tariffs forced Chinese corporations to diversify. They bought the mega factories in Vietnam and the industrial parks in Mexico. The trade war actually accelerated their evolution into a hyper-flexible, untariffable global network. Every trade war ends in systemic exhaustion. Politicians declare victory, but the actual winners are the third-party middlemen and agile conglomerates extracting billions in friction. You cannot force a borderless machine to obey political commands. The energy simply seeks the path of least resistance. The public pays for the battlefield, and the middleman walks away with the prize.